All right, welcome back. Now let's take a look at how we can make some curved staircases. All right, so what we'll do is we'll add a plane into the scene, and we'll use pretty much the same method we used last time with a few different techniques as well. All right, so here's my plane. Let's rotate it 90 degrees in the x-axis. And the first staircase we're going to make will be a curved staircase with a full profile. So here's my staircase. I'm going to press T to bring up this window. And with the curved staircase, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us a couple extra steps. So instead of 10, I'll do 12. And then for the width, what I'd like to do is rather than do our 10 and 7.5 for the proportions, I'm going to do give us a little more run. So for the width, I'll do probably, let's do 10.5. So we'll do 10.5 and we'll do 7. There we go. And then now let's delete some of these faces. So we'll go into face mode. And let's hold down our tab key to enable drag select. And we'll remove that diagonal section. There we go. And the nice thing about curved staircases is that they give a really nice, elegant and grandiose element to the design. So to your environment. All right, so here's our staircase, and what we want to do is we actually don't want to remove these edges in the center. We want to keep them because we need them for curving our staircase. So we just need to select this and let's extrude that. So hold down Shift and the right mouse button, click extrude or use your modeling toolkit if you like. And then I'm going to bring this out and let's make this about 4 units. 4 should be nice. All right, and then what I'm going to do now is bend this. So let's go into object mode. We want to select our mesh, and we're going to go up to the deform tab. And down here, you'll see nonlinear. Here's where you'll find your bend deformer. And then right now, you can see the bend deformer handle is going this way. If I want to quickly check which way this is bending, what I can do is I can press T on the keyboard. That'll bring up the bend handle controls, and I can click and hold on one of these circles and bend it, right? You can see it's the incorrect way. So first thing I'd like to do, I'm just gonna undo that, is I'd like to rotate my bend handle this way. So let's first go into the object of the bend handle. So press Q to go to your select tool, select your bend handle, and then let's rotate it 90 degrees in the Y for me. There we go. And then we can check our bend handle again, pressing T, or you can open up your attribute editor if you like and play with the curvature slider over here. And we can see that now it's actually working for us. So I'm gonna bend it, let's do this direction. So I'm gonna do -90. There we go. And there we go, we have our curved staircase. And we just wanna quickly check the shading on this. So I'm gonna select the staircase, hold down the right mouse button. First, let's get rid of that bend handle, so let's delete that history and select the staircase, hold down the right mouse button. We'll go to assign new material, just gonna give it a blend. And a blend will show the shininess, so those reflections, and then we can check whether we have any shading anomalies. And there you go, it looks good on that side, and it looks good on that side. All right, so let's just select this, we'll press H on the keyboard to hide it, and next we'll make a curved staircase with a narrow profile. So we'll add a plane into the scene. I'm gonna rotate 90 degrees in the X again. And for the width, let's make this, what do we say, 10.5? And for the height, let's make this 7. There we go. And then for the divisions, let's do 12 and 12. Right, so now we just want to select the faces we need. So we'll grab this diagonal section again. Again, I'm just using that drag select by holding down the tab key. All right, and then with this one, what we want to do is remove a diagonal chunk from the bottom as well. So I've encountered a bug where sometimes when I'm working with a large grid, if I try and cut from one point at the top here all the way to the bottom, Maya will freeze for me. So I find I have to do a couple sections first. So you may encounter that as well. So that is how you would get around it. So let's grab our multi-cut tool. You can get to it from your modeling toolkit over here, or use your marking menu. And I'm going to cut from here, just to here, cut a couple sections, and now I should be able to go all the way down. Right, pressing enter, and then let's remove that bottom chunk. So pressing Q to go to my select tool, let's go into face mode, and let's get rid of these faces. There you go. And now let's extrude this. So extrude, and let's do 4 units again. Yeah, 4 should be fine. And then let's curve this now. So we'll go into our object mode, deform, and then nonlinear and bend. And you can see my bend handle is incorrect, so I'm just going to select it, and I'm going to rotate it. So let's check the rotation. And so I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees in the Y. And I can press T on the keyboard and just quickly check if I'm bending in the right direction here. I am. So now I can adjust the curvature from here as well if I like. So you don't want to adjust it from here. You want to open up your bend one input, and you can adjust it from here. And you can choose, let's do 90. Or is it negative 90? We might be doing negative 90, so let's check. There we go. And we can bring back the other one. I just want to double check which way I had that one. Yep. So I'm just going to move the other one over here. So now we have a curved staircase with a full profile and one with a shorter profile. So I'm just going to delete that history, move it off to the side here, and then let's hide both of these. And I want to show you one more. So the last one we're making is something called a Perone or Perone. I don't know how to actually pronounce it, but you'll see this in front of some structures. I'm adding a plane into the scene, by the way. Just rotate it 90 degrees in the X. And let's bring up our polyplane window, pressing T on the keyboard, and we'll adjust the width. For this one, I'm going to go with, let's see, we did 10.5, let's do 11. 11, and we'll do 6.5 for here. So we'll give it a lot of runway. There we go. And then for the width and the height, I don't need that many steps for this. For this, maybe I'll do, let's do 5. We may even need less. For now, we'll just do 5. And then let's remove some of these faces. So this staircase, you'll see at the front of some entrances, but sometimes you'll see it in a circular fashion supporting monuments as well, right? So I'm just going to delete it. And now let's extrude this. So we'll go into object mode and let's extrude it. And we will make this one quite a long distance, width, I should say. And for this, I'm going to probably make it like 25 units for me. That should be okay. Maybe in 30, but let's try 25. And then now we need some edges running this way. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to, let's use the Insert Edge Loop tool. So that will be under Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop. Let's open up that option box. Just going to reset this. And we want to change it from relative distance to multiple. And right now it's set by default to 2. That works for what we're about to do, but you can change it over here. Just going to, let's close this up and click on here. So now we have this. All right. So now what I'd like to do with this, while those edges are still selected, I'm going to scale those a little bit apart, because on some of these Perones, the front stepping area is a little bit larger. So I'm going to scale it out just about this distance is fine. And then let's press Q to go to our select tool. Let's go into object mode, select our mesh, and now let's bend this. So what we will probably want to do is maybe delete the faces on the back, but let's bend it first and check it out. So we'll go to deform, non-linear, we can go to bend, and we can't see our bend handle. So let's open up our outliner, make sure it's selected, and we can check the bend by pressing T on the keyboard, and now we can kind of see those tools, or you can adjust it from the attribute editor if you like, under here, over here. And start, yeah, play with this, and there we go. And I'm gonna bend it 90 degrees. All right, and then you can see over here, we don't really need the faces back here, and depending on where your Perone sits in your environment, you may want to leave the faces in the back as well. So what I'm going to do is just select it, go into face mode, right, and just gonna unselect these ones, and just delete those. And then I'm gonna just fill in that top area. Now also on some of these, that top stepping area might have a bit more surface. So what we can do is we can actually maybe delete maybe the faces here as well. I think that looks a little nicer. Or even we can remove another level if we want. But I'll keep that the way it is. And let's get rid of these faces now. And we'll probably need to get rid of these ones at the bottom. And let's bridge that top section. So I'm gonna go into edge mode. I'm gonna select this edge and this one, and just hold down Shift and the right mouse button, bridge. And then we can bridge this back area as well. It really depends on whether you're having this against your building surface or not, right? But I'm gonna press G to repeat, G to repeat, and same thing over here. All right, and down here, I'll just close this for now, but you may want to delete those faces on the bottom, especially if they're not being seen. So this object, right, let me just harden these edges. And we'll just delete the history. And here we go, you have your Perone, right? I think it's more of probably a French pronunciation, so we'll go Perone. And this is what you would see. So a lot of these might not be even circular. Some of them are straight, but there are definitely some that are circular. So I wanted to throw it into this part of the tutorial because the modeling process fits closer. So with something like this, you certainly can make it with a cylinder and delete the faces maybe on half, and you get pretty close to the shape. But I'll make one more so you can see how this process really is beneficial for making this object. So we'll select this, just call this, I guess, Perone _01. Let's name our other ones as well. We'll go this, call this curved _ full profile. And we'll call this one curved _ narrow profile. All right. And we'll just hide our Perone. I'll never get that right. Pressing H to hide it. And then what we'll do now is we'll do one more. All right, so the next staircase we're going to make will be another style of Perone. Let's add a plane into the scene. And then let's rotate this. So 90 degrees in the X again. And then press T to bring back your polyplane window. And we'll keep the steps at 10. For the width, let's do 11. And for the height, we'll do 6.5, just like the last one. There we go. And then let's go into face mode and delete the faces we don't want. Oops. There we go. Grab these ones. And these ones. There. So I'm deleting all of those, and now let's extrude this. So I'm using the marking menu, by the way, holding down Shift and the right mouse button, extrude. And I'm going to click and drag. And for this one, I want it to be pretty wide. Probably gonna go with, let's go with 14 units. And then something I'd like to do for this is, first let's go into object mode. What I would like to do is give these steps a little bit of a protrusion at the top, and that's called the nosing. I think we mentioned that in the last tutorial. So let's grab our multi-cut tool. I'm gonna hold down the Shift, right mouse button, multi-cut. And if we hold down Control and Shift and hover over an edge, we'll see a percentage, and that's where it will cut. So I'm going to put a loop right here at the 80% mark, and then I'm gonna make my way down and do the same for all these steps. There we go. And then let's go into face mode. and we are going to extrude out that front section. So grab all these faces. Something you can do sometimes that might speed this up is if you hold down the right mouse button, you can choose select similar, and sometimes Maya will be smart enough to select those similar components. Sometimes though, it might select something you don't want. So what I usually do is I'll press 4 and just orbit around my mesh, make sure that it hasn't selected anything I don't want. And in this case, I'm going to hold down the tab key and unselect these ones here. There we go. All right, so now I have these faces selected, and what I would do now is extrude that. So let's extrude, and I'm gonna give it a bit of thickness, probably around maybe 0.125. There we go. And then what we want to do next is we want to also add some edges going this way. So let's select a mesh, and then we'll go to Mesh Tools, insert edge loop. And what I want to do over here is change the number of edge loops. So for something like this, let's go with maybe like 12 loops and see how it looks. And I think 12 should be okay. We could also do 10, but let's just keep it at 12. All right, I'm gonna close this up. And now what I would like to do is I would like to curve this, but before we curve this, let's give it a different style as well. We're gonna give it a lattice and bring in this midsection. So select your mesh and go to the Deform tab. Over here you have lattice, so click on that. And this is your lattice cage over here. Just gonna pressing Q to go to my select tool, select the lattice cage, and I wanna change these divisions. So let's open up the attribute editor, and under lattice shape, I'm just gonna drag the slider to 2. So now we just have the basic cage, and I wanna add 1 division going this way. So I'm gonna increase the S division to 3. Sometimes you have to play with these numbers to see which division you're changing. And now if we hold down the right mouse button, go to lattice point, we can do a box select, just make sure I have the one selected, and then we can scale that in. There we go. You'll notice something, we're scaling it in, but we're not really getting a nice smooth curvature. So what we can do is over here in the attribute editor, under FFD1, we can change what is being influenced. So over here, for the S influence, the division we change, we can either input this number, increase the number. There we go. And now we have a nice smooth curvature, right? And sometimes increasing more numbers will affect it, but in our case, we just need to change it to 3. Or if you unselect this one, it'll affect all the divisions, right? I'll just leave it at just changing the S influence. Right, and now we can curve this more if we want. I'm just gonna bring it a little bit. I don't wanna overdo it. I just wanna bring it in just to about right there. Right, so now what we'll do is we'll select the mesh, we'll delete that history, and now let's give it the bend deformer. So we'll go deform, nonlinear, bend, and then what we'll do is the bend handle looks like it's facing the right way. Let's change the curvature and see how it looks. Yep, and we'll go this direction. So now you can see this staircase has a bit of a different design, right? Looks much more fancy. And I think I'll bend it maybe roughly to here. Should be fine. And the back here, you can, extrude that out, attach it to another landing if you like, but I'll just leave it alone. And what I'll do is I'll just delete the history, and then we'll give all the staircases a blend and take a look at them next. All right, so here are all our curved staircases, and I added the blend material to all of them, so let's have a look. And if you take a look, you can see that the shading looks pretty smooth. There's no major distortions, right? And these are the ones we made, but there are actually like a lot of other curved staircases out there. So hopefully you can use the techniques in this tutorial to help you make those ones as well if you like. Let's wrap up this tutorial. In the next one, we'll take a look at how we can make a spiral staircase. That one should be a lot of fun, so see you then.